So you have to strategically blend your expertise with your personal experiences because it's the stories that you share that connect to your reader. So your personal stories include your examples and your professional experiences. And they don't necessarily have to be your personal stories. It can be stories from people and about people that you know of, as long as it ties into your chapter and into the point that you're making. Welcome to the Published and Paid podcast, where we share book, business, leadership, and life lessons in 20 minutes or less to help you build a thought leadership brand and business. My name is Jasmine Womack. I'm a former middle school language arts teacher turned seven-figure entrepreneur, and I am glad that you are here. Let's get started. Hey, welcome back to the Published and Paid podcast. I am excited to get into our topic today. And today is all about the key to writing books that sell and make money. I encounter frequently people who are writing their books, or they feel like because they have the skill of writing, then the book that they're writing is good enough. But the truth of the matter is that when it comes to marketing and when it comes to sales, you need to have more than just great writing skills. This is why some people can be horrible writers, but they sell tons of books and they make tons of money because they understand sales, they understand visibility, they understand marketing, they understand branding. Whereas people who are great writers or may come from academia, take the approach of, I can write my book myself, and it's missing, strategic marketing elements. The title and subtitle isn't positioned for sales or brand building. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. Now, a thought leadership book is a game changer for business growth, visibility, and income because number one, it positions you as a go-to expert. Number two, your book multiplies your presence across platforms. And number three, your book opens doors to other premium offers that you offer. And so by the end of this episode, you're going to understand the critical elements that make a book not just readable, but also profitable. Okay. So when we get into writing a book that makes money and makes sales, you have to get into your mindset and how you're thinking, because you have to approach this process, not just as an author, not just as I'm writing a book, not just as, I'm going to share my story, but you have to start your writing process with the intention that you're going to leverage your book for brand building, for business development, and for profits, right? So when you are writing your book, when you want to write a book that sells and makes money, you have to come from the position of you are educating and leading your readers to a solution and to an outcome. This means that you're doing more than informing them. You are doing way more than just sharing your story, okay? Now, thought leadership means that you are leading with your thoughts. You're leading with your strategies. You're leading with your beliefs and your identity. And you weave and you incorporate these strategies, these thoughts, these beliefs, and your identity in and throughout your writing. And yes, of course, you're going to incorporate your story, but your story has to be incorporated strategically. And when you incorporate your story in and throughout your book, you're not telling your whole entire life story. Not when you're writing a thought leadership book, because this is not the same as a memoir. You're taking specific elements from your life, specific experiences from your life, and you're telling the stories around those experiences and tying those stories into a guiding principle or into a guiding strategy that you want your readers to remember. You've got to understand that you have to begin to shift from authorship and just being an author to actually building a brand and being an authority. And this is one of the biggest mistakes that I see aspiring authors make, because they approach, for some reason, I don't get it. Like, having a book has the capacity, has the ability to elevate your entire brand. But so many people come at it as like, it's just this is my life story. And listen, nobody cares about your book as much as you do. They care about what you're talking about and whether or not what you're talking about is going to help them to accomplish a thing. So this means that you have to get rid of the loftiness. You've got to get rid of all of the, oh, I'm going to write a book and I don't want to invest in it because I got other well, you don't want, if that's your opinion, if that's how you feel, then you really don't want a book that's going to grow and expand your brand. And it's cool if you just want to write a book to share your story, but you have to be aware of that. You've got to be cool with that. Okay. So when we talk about some of the core ingredients of a marketable thought leadership book, core ingredient number 1, your book must solve a specific problem, because books that sell are books that solve a problem. So ask yourself, what problem does this book solve? By the time the reader gets to the end of this book, what is it that I want them to know, learn, and be able to do? Number 2, your book needs to have a clear and compelling and unique framework. Now, we teach this at the 7-Figure Bestseller Summit, which is coming up in the Metro Atlanta area, Saturday, July 12th. It's in person only. And even for some of you all who are coaches and business owners, you may have a framework. You may find that through this process of writing a thought leadership book, that your framework actually develops a little bit more. But you need to have a clear, compelling, and unique framework, because your framework and your articulation and your ability to communicate your framework is going to help you stand out in a crowded market. And so at the 7-Figure Bestseller Summit, we're going to help you to create your 7-figure framework that you can use to write your book and to grow your speaking and coaching business. The third core ingredient of a marketable thought leadership book is that you must have a very, very strong personal narrative. So you have to strategically blend your expertise with your personal experiences, because it's the stories that you share that connect to your reader. So your personal stories include your examples and your professional experiences. And they don't necessarily have to be your personal stories. It can be stories from people and about people that you know of, as long as it ties into your chapter and into the point that you're making. And you also must have, number 4, very high value takeaways. Your takeaways are actionable insights in and throughout your book that readers can apply immediately. These are things that they can go and start implementing and executing today. Now, when you're positioning your book for sales and profitability, one of the key things that you have to do is to make sure that you target that right audience that needs those strategies, those tips, and those results that you're providing. You also want to make sure that you have a pre-sales strategy, because your pre-selling stage is going to help you to build demand. It's going to help you to engage your audience and generate sales before your book is actually released. And you also need to have a monetization plan for your book beyond your initial book sales. This means that this is like beyond your book. This is where your speaking topics come in, where your courses, where your coaching programs come in, your digital products, your consulting, and more. Okay. One of the biggest mistakes that authors make is that they write a book without thinking about how they're going to monetize it on the back end. And so when it comes time to monetize it, you're scrambling like a chicken with your head cut off, because it's like, okay, I have the book, but now what? And if you don't want to find yourself in this position, you want to make sure that you are live and in person at the 7-Figure Bestseller Summit. You can go to www.7figurebestseller.com, and the link will also be in the show notes. Okay. You want to be in the room, because at the 7-Figure Bestseller Summit, we're going to help you during session 4 create your beyond the book monetization plan, so that whether you're going to write or whether you're in the process of writing, you have a clear plan to monetize and profit from your book beyond your book. So that means that you will know, and you'll have a journey, you'll have a pathway of what you're going to do and where you're going to go and how you're going to sell the book after the book comes out. You also want to make sure that you start with the end in mind. So before you write a single word, you want to start thinking about, what do I want this book to do for me? What do I want this book to do for the readers? What doors do I want this book to open up for me? In what ways do I want to use this book to expand my brand and to increase my influence and income? And then you work your way backwards. And so if you start asking yourself strategic questions about where you want to end up, it's going to prevent you from writing a book that's all about yourself. And it's going to put you on the pathway of writing a solution-driven and solution-oriented book that actually provides results and helps your readers achieve transformation. So listen, if you're listening to this and you know that these are things that you haven't done in your current book, or maybe you've written previous books and you haven't done it, and you want to make sure that for your first book or for your next book, you're doing it the right way, you're putting yourself in position to make multiple six or even seven figures from your book, then you definitely want to be at the 7-Figure Bestseller Summit, which is going to be in Alpharetta, Georgia. That's Metro Atlanta, about 30 minutes from the Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport on Saturday, July 12th. This is a one-day event to help leaders and experts to package your $1 million message into a best-selling book and high-earning brand. And we want to see you in the room. It is in person only. In person only. There is no virtual option. There's no option to get the replay. If you can't attend live, you've got to attend live, okay? And so we've got limited seats. We want to see you in the room. You can go to www.7figurebestseller.com to secure your ticket. We've got general, VIP, and VIP Platinum tickets. And you can also look in the show notes for the link, and I look forward to seeing you in the room. Listen, I want you to remember that your thought leadership book isn't just a book. It's a movement. It's a movement. It's a message. It's a moneymaker. And it's time to make yours happen. Peace, love, and impact. And until the next episode, see you guys soon.